Detroit was also a place that you could have a high school education and make $150,000 a year. Because you worked on the line at Ford, you worked overtime. 2 parents worked on the line at Ford. You could have a considerable life. So they begin to think about, well, where should we send our children to school? What is the best black school we can send them to? Howard University, Hampton University, Fisk, Morehouse. They begin to find ways to improve that urban life. In all that, you find a unique and distinctive culture being developed. I mean, you find a new Negro being developed. Alan Locke will write about this. He will write about the new Negro. The new Negro who has come to the city and has seen the possibility. Who will now not only study at Howard University, but will decide that they want to travel abroad, to travel to Paris, France. These individuals who have gone to the war. No longer are we closing ranks, but now we want our just desserts here in America. We've fought for freedom. It's a new movie out called Red Tails. How many of you going to see it? Nobody's going to see it yet? You going to see it? I haven't seen it yet either. I've been traveling. But my wife told me last night they went and almost every ticket was sold. Now, granted, we live in one of the blackest parts of Los Angeles, so I'm pretty sure everybody was there. But what she said to me, she said in this text, she said, you always talk about uniquely American. It might have been an all-black cast, but it was a uniquely American story. It was interesting to me that in this film, the line that they put out for the trailer was this line where the actor says, we measure our success in the fathers who return to their families. Have you seen that trailer for the movie? I thought it was unique how they're appealing to you to say that, and when they show those fathers we send back, they don't show a picture of a black family, they show a picture of a white family. Those soldiers and airmen who go off to fight are people who have grown up in this migration, cut their teeth there, who are seen up raising the world. So how does one use this in the classroom? How do you take this information and impart it to your students? Is anything useful in this? Is there any context that will serve as value to students? And I'm not talking about your gifted AP students. I'm not talking about them. Please, I've had enough of gifted AP students. I have just had enough. I'm sorry, no offense. But I was not the gifted AP student. I was not him. I was the kid that you had to tell 50 times. Stop talking, Larry. Pay attention, Larry. Where's your homework, Larry? And look at me now. But in earnestness, what did it for me was a history teacher. Mr. Butler, I never forget Mr. Butler. Mr. Butler was a crass man. But when he taught history, he taught us like we were in a college classroom. And we were all, I mean, I was in the class with jocks. We were the problem kids, you know? We were the kids who they just threw on him because he was the only male teacher and he could control these wild ruffians for at least 60 minutes. But he would lecture us like this. He would lecture from notes all week long. It was terrible. But Monday morning we came in. He said, everybody come back to the classroom. And he said, he'd open up his roll book and he put his pen down. He said, Mr. Earl, can you tell me why on earth blacks would leave Mississippi to go to Chicago? And I had remembered that even though he didn't sing like I sung, he told me that there was a song that was sung by convicts which expressed their desire to flee because of society at this time. And I remembered it and I said, oh, because they want to escape the oppression. That's how they say, he said, Mr. Earl, you can sit down. He would go down the line. And if you couldn't answer your question, you stood up for the entire 60-minute period. Now, I know that's cruel and unusual punishment then. I know now you would lose your ticket. Whoa. You'd have a lawsuit. But back when I was going to school, that was the only thing that excited me. Was I going to be able to answer the question to sit down? So that's the only reason why I paid attention. Because I wanted to sit down. And because I wanted to sit down and listen. And I found that history was not not just dates, figures. It was about people. It was about stories. It was about the people in this picture here. And even though Mr. Butler, I don't know what he was. I don't know. He was something else, but he would bring in cool things to sort of relate it. Now, I know working with teachers have a lot to do. You got a lot of papers to grade, right? How many of you all have a teaching assistant? Nah, you got a teaching assistant? Oh, look, he's laughing. Hey, nah, you got a teaching assistant? Yes, how many do you have?
Too many.
He has to think. You see, he has to think. How many of you all have teaching assistants? Do you? None of you? Well, I want to pull up a website for you here. Let's see if I can make it work. Because there are some cool ways to explore this history. And I just like to, again, to provide you something. We could go on and talk about the content, but I think you have some great presenters here who are going to tell you more. But I want to tell you, this is a cool little website. This is called In Motion African Americans. It's actually done by the Schomburg Museum and Library in New York. One of my mentors, a man by the name of Howard Dawson, used to be the chief of this museum. I'm going to go back. The Schomburg, he just retired. And what I love about Dr. Dawson is that he always knew how to get money out of people. So whenever he would make an exhibit, he would do a website. He says, because the exhibit should live longer than it being up. And he said, teachers can use these websites, students can use these websites to explore. So In Motion is the story of African migration throughout the world. Transatlantic slave trade, Great Migration, Northern Migration, Haitian immigrant migration, Western migration, Second Great Migration. I mean, I could go on and on and on. And what's cool about this website, if I may, okay, so we're talking about the Great Migration, right? Mm-hmm. Let me just show you what pops up as a great site. So, on this site, you have an image gallery. You have text where you can read about it. Let me just show you what the image gallery looks like. Where you can help your students to explore this through all these images. It's 11 pages of it. We did something very interesting just recently. I run a little startup right now. And so we just did an exhibition on the Freedom Rides. And the Freedom Rides is a very important story here in Jackson. Well, we discovered that there was a Freedom Ride that left Los Angeles that was supposed to make it to Jackson, right? They were supposed to come to Jackson and get arrested like everybody else, but they weren't. But they had gotten a call that they needed to stop in Houston first to help some students at Texas Southern University integrate the coffee shop there in Houston. So they were going to go to Houston, help them, and then come to Jackson. As I said before, I don't know what possessed them to think they wouldn't get arrested in Houston. I don't know what possessed them to do that. But they got arrested in Houston, and they never made it to Jackson. So we did this exhibit about the LA to Houston Freedom Ride. What we asked the kids to do is that we collected all this information from the Freedom Rides. So we asked the kids, because they're so savvy and cool, that their assignment was to tweet after they were Freedom Riders. So they took all the letters, the images, and they tweeted every day. That was their assignment, to tweet to the teacher something about the Freedom Ride. And they really got into it. Because we put everything online and allowed them to go and explore it. So they were able to take the history, take the information, and use it in a way in a meeting that was important. So I just wanted to share this with you as a great resource. It has a timeline, it has a lot. And I hope that it will make your job easier, because you could use it and take out what you want and use what's great for it. If you're looking for an image, you can find it right here. I think I'm running out of time, I believe, right? I'm not. Okay.
You're fine.
Okay. How much time do I have left?
Finish for right now.
I got 10 minutes more? Break. Oh, got a break. I thought I was right on time. Okay.
I was just looking at the paper.
Cool. I was just making sure. I don't want, if I had some extra time, I was going to take it, but, But before I go, are there any questions that I can answer for you? Because you're going to hear more about the actual migration experience. Are there any questions that I can answer? None?
I have one question.
Yes.
Like songs from the Great Migration. Because I'm getting ready to do a thing on the Great Migration program. We're doing it too. And I wanted to, it's going to do music.
Smithsonian Folkways is website. Smithsonian's Folkways website is a great website where if you're looking for music from the 18th century, African music, to contemporary music, civil rights songs, jazz, blues, Smithsonian Folkways has a website really great for that, and lessons that go along with it. All right. Any others? Well, the Atlantic Monthly. You know the regular magazine, Atlantic Monthly, the thing that's still in existence? Well, that magazine has been around for a while. They have it online, they had a digitization project where they put all their past and old articles online. So from its first printing, they have online transcripts where you can actually read and actually see the old document